Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Darren. I hope you're all safe and well. So today we're going to do a stitch with me. As you can see, we're going to work on My Big Cats by Tone Crafts. I thought this one would be probably one of the easiest ones to work on while I'm chatting away to you. So this one is where we're starting from. Now I did a little bit more on this since last time you've seen it, because I was using it on my Zoom last night. So it's Sunday today, so happy Mother's Day to all you mums out there. Let's get you zoomed in. Now I'm hoping you can hear me okay, because I'm trying something different. So a couple of times I've listened back to my stitch with me's and it's like you can barely hear sometimes what I'm saying, especially when I turn away to get the new piece of floss. So I thought what I would do is try it with my headphones in. So because the headphones have a microphone, so I'm hoping that it picks the volume up a bit better than what it did before. So you will have to let me know. So I do apologise if for any reason the camera all of a sudden moves really fast. It's because I forgot I've got it in there. I've turned around too quick. So you'll have to let me know. And also as well, I'll probably catch you with my arm, knowing me. It's been a while since we've done a stitch with me, so I just haven't really had the time to get it done. So today I've got the time, so I thought, right, we're going to start. So I can't come to see me already. Hopefully he doesn't play with a headphone. Got my thing at a slightly odd angle. It's a bit too high, so hopefully you can still see this if I move it. Should be able to. Right, so let's get into stuff. So updates first, shall we? So as of yet, the Mirabilia hasn't arrived in the UK, so Mum's just going to have to wait until that arrives, which is a shame. I didn't think it would take this long. Normally it's pretty quick from Australia, but obviously due to all the flights stopping to most countries and only just restarting up again, I'm guessing that's probably why. So hopefully she should get that within the next day or two. Work is going okay. So I think the last time we spoke I mentioned that I had a new guy started with me. All he kept moaning about was how bored he was. Yeah, he's now gone. We was working away and he got to, so we normally finish about 3:30 and he got to 2:30, and what that I was doing, well, the job I was doing was a slow job, because we had to go through and sort out the wood, so take out all the bad ones and then sort the good ones into different lengths and all that lot. So it was a bit of a slow job having to go through and check all the wood and stuff like that first. So he was just stood around waiting for me to check the wood before putting it through the saw. So he'd been doing it. On my saw, generally if there's more than one person, we're taking in turns, so one will do one part of the job for a bit, and then like at break time we'll swap and the other person will do it, and vice versa. So obviously he'd done it prior, so it was now my turn, and he come over and he says, I'll do that part if you want, I'm bored. I was like, no, it's alright, I'm good, I'll do it. So then he went off, and why he went to the manageress is beyond me, because the manageress doesn't deal with anything in there really. She sits at the front desk answering the phones. So he went to her and he had a right go at her apparently. So, and then he come out to me. Well, he came out, clocked off, come up to me and told me he was going. I was like, why? He says, I can't just be standing around doing nothing. I was like, yeah, but you're getting paid for it. It's like, now there's better things to life than this. It's like, you've just come off the dole where you've been sat on your butt for God knows how long, getting paid for doing nothing. But you don't want to come to work and stand doing nothing and get paid. Alright then, whatever. So now there's more to life than this. And then 2 seconds later, the not the main boss, but the guy who does all the hiring and firing come flying through the door. I've never seen him move so fast. It was so funny, and he had a right go at this lad. It's like, what's your problem? And it's like, you're moaning you're bored. He says, you're the one who's only been here like 2 weeks. He says, in 2 weeks you've had over a week off on sick. He says, and you're talking about being bored and that this isn't for you. And it's like, get out my face. He says, I don't want to see you again. And it's like, ooh, this is fun. But then I had my headphones in. So I was like, how about not? Sorry, I'm trying to sort this out. I had my headphones in, so I couldn't hear what was going off. So I'm like, right, if I pause my music, I'll be able to hear what's going off, as you do. But every time I hit the button to pause the music, it turned the volume up. It's like, no, turn it down. So by the time it actually turned the music down, well, pause the music, it finished. And I was like, damn it, I missed it. So yeah, absolutely typical. When you want the volume to, well, when you think to stop, it doesn't. It just carries on. So yeah, so every time I press the button to, well, what I thought I was doing to pause the music, kept turning it up. I could have just taken my headphone out, but then that would have made it a bit too obvious that I was listening. So yes, he's gone. The other guy that I mentioned who not come back after the floods, yeah, he only lasted that one day. He's not coming back. So my boss turned around and said he's not going to bother replacing anybody on my soil. He says there's no real need for it. So I was like, fair enough. So I'm now working on my own. Well, I have been for nearly a year anyway, so it makes no difference to me. So I'll be working on my own. And then the guy who the other one was meant to be working with, he decided that he's going to work on his own as well. It's like, fair enough. So my new saw still hasn't materialised. Apparently now I'm getting a completely different saw, because the guy who was originally sorting my saw out just wasn't getting back to the boss. Obviously didn't need the work. So I'm now getting a different saw. I don't know when I'm getting that one, or what kind of saw this one is. But all I know is it's going to be a better one than I'm on at the moment. I'm also going to insert a little video clip. So, I don't know if you remember, I told you we have a bird over here called plover, and we had one at work who had babies. So this is not the ones that normally come in the shed, my butcher birds. This is the other ones that are outside that normally scare one of the lads to death. Well, they started off with 3 babies. They've only got 1 now. But he's such a fluff ball on legs. He's so cute. So I was waiting for Shane the other day to finish work because he was late. Because he got stuck in traffic. So while I was waiting for him, the baby just came up alongside of the car. So I was like, right, I'm taking a video of this one. It's such a little cute little fuzzball. So I'm going to put a video in there. It's only a short little video clip. I'm going to put that in as well. Speaking of babies, so the same kind of bird is nesting in our paddock. There was 2 of them, but one of the birds seems to have disappeared. Normally they're in pairs all the time, but I've only seen one, which is the one that's sitting on the eggs. So I've only seen that one for a couple of days now, so I don't know if the other one's just out hunting or what. But normally they're together all the time. So, but this poor bird, and then Friday we had a storm come through. This poor bird sat on its eggs, keeping them safe, and then it started hailing. And this poor bird did not move off these eggs. It stayed there. It was getting battered by these hails, by the hailstones. I saw the poor bird. I was ashamed. Get an umbrella. I'm going to stand out there over it. He's like, I'm not doing that. I was like, why not? He went, I'll get hit by the hail. I was like, so? Go and protect the bird and its eggs. He wouldn't do it. So, but needless to say, the bird survived. I felt so sorry for it. Just sat in the middle of this field, protecting its eggs, getting battered by hailstones. So yeah, so there'll be some babies running around soon. Don't know how many she's got, or he's got. I don't know which sex it is that's sat on the nest. So we'll soon find out. So update for you with regards to Shane's mum. She started her chemotherapy. Made her a bit sick. She's now decided she's not continuing chemotherapy because her husband has talked her out of it. The thing is with Shane's dad, he likes to have things made as easy as possible for him. So yeah, so he's talked her out of continuing with the chemo because she got so sick. So she's no longer having chemo. And it's like, well, it's on your head. But I says to Shane, does she know the risks of not having the chemotherapy after having lung cancer? And I said, well, it's her decision. And I was like, well, yeah, but it will mean she probably won't have a great big lifespan left of her, especially if it comes back. But it's her choice. So she decided she's not going ahead with it because it made her too sick for 3 days. But never mind. My mum, on the other hand, is doing really well. I'll be Zooming with her tonight. Well, not Zooming with her, FaceTiming her tonight for Mother's Day. But my brother took her out to Cleethorpes, which for those not in the UK is a seaside. My mum used to like going to the seaside mainly for the fresh donuts, because you can't beat fresh donuts. So they decided to take her to the seaside for the day. And they took the dog with them as well. They never take the dog anywhere with them when they go anywhere. But yeah, they took the dog with them as well. So they had a good day out, apparently. They really enjoyed it. So my brother shared some pictures on Facebook. And he ended up I don't know if I had to buy me all some sunglasses while she was there or what, but she had some sunglasses on. But she put them over her normal glasses, so she had 2 pairs of glasses on while sat in the chair being pushed around. But yeah, but apparently she really enjoyed it, so which is good. It's good that she's out and about. I think it's the first time she's actually been out properly without going to like just a hospital appointment or something like that since COVID started. So actually, I think it's the first time since she's probably had the stroke that she's been out anyway. So my brother said she really needed it, so she enjoyed herself. So that's the main thing. So I'll find out all about that when I find her tonight. So I had a Zoom last night and I had a Zoom last weekend, and those both went really, really well. So we had a right laugh on both of them. So the one last week, which was with the American guys, there was only 4. I think there was 4 of us in there. It was me, Gail Phillips, Alara, who's another floss tuber on here, and I'm going to say the name wrong. I think it was Shauna, and we had a right laugh. It was only meant to be on for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I think it was on for nearly 2.5, 3 hours. It was so funny. We had a right time, so that was good fun. And then last night, the UK one, there was a few of us on there. I think we had about 10-ish. And we was having a right laugh on there as well. And again, that one was only meant to be about an hour and a half Zoom. That went on for just over 2 hours, but it was good fun. So definitely can't wait to do that again. So going from one of my Zooms, I was told I need to mention this to you in my next Stitch With Me. So we was on and about doing sports, stuff like that. And now I used to do bowling when I was younger. I haven't done it for years. And I was just saying that I've not seen any real bowling alleys around over in Australia. Where I used to live prior to here, there was one around there, but I'd never been. But that's the only one I've ever seen. And then we just got on about funny stories from when I was doing bowling. So I was So when I'm bowling, I have a habit of, no matter what size ball I have, I always find one that obviously there are different finger holes. So I always find ones that fits my thumb. So I've got quite wide knuckles. Where's the camera? Somewhere around here. I've got quite wide knuckles. So this thumb one here always seems to swell up when I'm bowling. So I was just going through telling them exactly what I'd actually done due to my thumb swelling up. So the list of things I have done while bowling due to my thumb swelling up and getting stuck in the ball is I have broken my little finger twice, where the ball's just swung back and smashed me in the finger and broke my little finger. So I broke my little finger twice. I have 9 out of 10, the ball will leave my hand at head height and it will fly like halfway down the lane before landing, and then it's like a bouncing bomb. So from that, I have scored a strike on somebody else's lane. I have, the guard that comes down when you're resetting the pins and stuff like that. Yep, I've smashed one of those. I have broken the lane from the wood popping up from the ball hitting it. The back part where the pins actually are housed, I've thrown the ball and it's actually hit into that. I've also thrown it that hard that it's actually, when it's come off my thumb, it's actually hit the ceiling and broke the ceiling to put the ceiling down. And also as well, I have a habit as well of throwing it behind me, so the ball will stick to my thumb and it won't come off until it gets behind me and then throws off that way. So as Gail said, I can just imagine all these people saying you're going up to ball and like, damn, let's move, and they all just scarper out the way, which is a good idea because the ball does go a fair distance when I release it. So needless to say, I haven't played bowling for a while, but when I do, I'm a danger to myself as well as to others. So, but it is good fun to watch. And then I told them about the time when I was at college, and we used to go and play Laser Quest. So those who don't know what Laser Quest is, where you run around in the dark with laser guns, and you can just see like certain lights, and you have to try and shoot each other. It's really good fun. Well, when I was at college, we always used to do that in our like lunch breaks and stuff like that. And when you were waiting for your turn to go in, we used to play pool. There was a pool table there. Now again, I am lethal on a pool table. I'm too heavy-handed, so I hit the balls too hard. Now, one time we was there, and it was Christmas time. You can probably see where this is going. Well, it was Christmas time. And where the pool table was, it was near the main desk. And next to the main desk was a Christmas tree. So it was one of these Christmas trees that like most Christmas trees now, they're normally 2 or 3 parts. Well, I hit the ball, and I don't know how it happened, but it bounced off the table, flew across the room, smacked the Christmas tree smack bang in the middle where it joins together, and the top half of the Christmas tree fell off. Needless to say, I had to rebuild that Christmas tree before I was allowed to go back. Well, before I was allowed to go in and play my game of Laser Quest. They knew me there because we used to go that often. It was like, Darren, you need to get that fixed and put back together before you even go in there. It's like, oh, come on. So 10 minutes of rebuilding the Christmas tree on your lunch break before going in to play Laser Quest. That was fun. So I am quite heavy-handed when it comes to stuff like that. I was also telling them about the time when we was at school, and the only position I was allowed to play when we played football or soccer, wherever you're from, was the net, because I was too vicious. I used to tackle everybody. Well, I never used to hit the ball. I always used to hit them in the shins. So I got banned from playing on the field. I had to be in the net. I wasn't allowed to do the javelin, discus or shot put. I think discus, I was doing that once and threw it, and it actually went towards the school, and they put a window through. So but it was their fault for having the school so close to the field. So I wasn't allowed to play that. The only parts I was allowed to do in summertime was track, so running. Hockey, I was too vicious for. I wasn't allowed to play hockey. because, again, I was too violent with the stick. It's not my fault I've got a fair bit of power in my arms. You wouldn't think it, but I've got a fair bit of power in my arms, so it wasn't my fault that people happened to get in the way. The only sports I was allowed to play, really, which involved the ball, was tennis. But even then, I smashed one of the lights in the school gym, because sometimes you used to play tennis indoors. So I smashed one of the lights with the ball. I was allowed to play badminton, because badminton you're allowed to hit it as hard as you can. They're only feathers, so. So yeah, needless to say, I didn't play many sports at school because I wasn't allowed to, because I was too rough. The only one I was allowed to play on track, well, on the field, was rugby. Because rugby, you're meant to be rough with all the tackling and stuff like that. Plus, I was pretty fast mover, so 9 out of 10 they just threw the ball to me so I could run and get a touchdown or whatever you want to call it. So yes, I needed to say I didn't play many sports when I was at school unless it was track. So I said I would mention that in this floss tube. So there you go, floss tube. Stitch with me. So now you know. Don't play bowling with me, and do not play ball because it's a danger to yourself. So right now, I think I have a couple of questions. I think. I'll tell you what, I'm just going onto my phone now. The amount of people that are commenting on my last update video, because I mentioned I gave 5 options for different charts. Well, my phone is blowing up since yesterday. It has not stopped. Every time I look at my phone, I've got more and more messages saying, "Oh, option number 1, number 2, number 3." Like there's another one. So yeah. So if you haven't watched it yet, there's 5 charts that I've put on there that I'm trying to decide which one to get. So I'm on the pain-free crafts. It's like a club. So you pay so much each month, and then after 6 months you get a voucher so you can get a kit. Or just having a drink. So, and obviously, at the time I knew which one I wanted. But then when the time comes, it's like, nope, there's more than I wanted to. So there's 5 choices to pick from. So it's going to be fun to see which one's going to win on that one. I've seen a fair few for the elephant, a fair few for the dragon, and a fair few for the sloth. But that's just quick ones that I've seen. But when I went onto my YouTube earlier on, I had over 100 comments on it. Just so obviously very popular. That one. Oh, there goes another one. Number 1 and number 5. So that's the elephant and the leopard. So yeah. So it's coming in thick and fast. So if you haven't seen it, go and watch it, and you'll see what I mean. So right, questions. This one I think is from Jody. So obviously she's going on the last stage with me where I was doing the memorabilia on the 32 count. So I don't think I'll be able to see the count there. Be able to see and count those threads. Yeah, they are quite small. But saying that, I found another piece 32 count in my stash, and the holes on there seem a lot smaller than the one on the memorabilia. So I don't know what's going off there. Probably because my eyes have readjusted to not stitching on 32 count. So how long does it take you the first time to get used to counting those tiny threads in the weave to stitch? With me, it doesn't take that long. Once I start, and I know how I'm going, because obviously that's 2/2 on the memorabilia. So it only took me about half an hour to get used to it, and that was fine. And as I say, that I need to stitch on that at the weekends, and then I won't stitch on it throughout the week. So then coming back to it at the weekend again, I could just pick it up and just carry on. It didn't bother me at all. But for the first time, it took me about half an hour or so to get used to the small holes and sorting out the threads. So it didn't take long. I get used to them pretty quickly. And I mentioned as well that no doubt the family will probably be requesting ones to be done as well. No doubt they probably will do. Right, so that was that one from Jody. I don't think I've got many questions, to be honest with you. No, I think that was it. One. So there you go, one question. Yep, that was it. So that was short and sweet. One question. Right. I'm doing a bit stitchy now then. So as I say, I'm really hoping you can hear me okay on here. So you'll have to let me know what the volume and that's like for me talking. I'm hoping it's going to be okay, as I say, because the headphones for the iPhones have a built-in microphone. So I'm hoping it's going to make it a bit clearer. Like I say, on my last one, you could tell when I turned away to get threads and stuff like that, but I continued talking anyway, and you could only just hear me. So I thought I'm going to have to do something about that. And the last couple of Stitch With Me's where I've watched back, it was the same. So sometimes a bit clear, and then sometimes you could tell I'd moved away from the camera or whatever, and you couldn't really hear me as well. So hopefully now you should be able to hear me consistently at the same level. I'm hoping. So yesterday we had fun. So during, when was it? I think it must have been after last Saturday, so it must have been Sunday. Ginger was in the bathroom, and I don't know how he managed it, but he fell down the back of the washing machine. Don't ask me how, no idea. But he fell down the back of the washing machine. Anyway, he got himself out. But when he got himself out, he knocked, the pipe where the wastewater comes out of? He'd knocked that out of the sink, because over here you have a hole at the top of your sink where you put that pipe in. Whereas like in the UK and that, it's all connected into the plumbing. So this one you put over the top. So anyway, he managed to knock that out. Well, I'd not noticed that he'd knocked it out. A great big grey pipe sitting over the side of a sink. You don't notice that it's not there. So yesterday, I did the washing. And I was sat with Shane, and he's like, I can hear water. And I was like, oh, yeah, obviously the grey water's been going through to where it gets pumped out. He went, no, that's running down somewhere. He said, that's like it's leaking out somewhere. So he went outside and had a look. He went, oh my God. He says, water's just coming out the side of the house. And I was like, what? He says, the bathroom flooded. So I went into the bathroom and water was everywhere. And I was like, oh, yeah, this pipe's been knocked out. So picks the pipe up, puts it back in the sink. Cleaned up all the water that was spilt. Well, that was all over the bathroom floor. Thought nothing else of it. 10 minutes, no, maybe about 15, 20 minutes later, the power went out. I was like, great, just what we want. Well, it tripped, I thought we'd had a power cut, but we hadn't, it just tripped. So I was like, right. So I went to switch the power back on. It won't switch back on. I was like, something's tripping this somewhere. So I thought, well, the only thing I could think of was the washing machine. So I went and switched off the washing machine and unplugged it. Tried to turn the power back on, it wouldn't come back on. So I left it a little bit, tried it again. When it come back on, I was like, oh, okay, whatever it was, I sorted itself out. So I went and started the washer again, because the washer only had, it was near enough finished. It had about 6 minutes to go. So it just had its final spins and whatever. But with my washing machine, I don't think you can open it until it actually clicks to say that it's done. So I needed it to finish this 6 minutes. So the good thing with mine is even when the power goes out, the washer will continue from where it's left off. So the washer continued, and it got down to 2 minutes, and then the power went off again. I thought, oh, come on. So again, had to wait again, but when the power came on, it had reset itself back to 6 minutes. It's like, oh, this is going to be the longest 6 minutes ever. So anyway, after 4 attempts, the washer finally finished and clicked, so I could get the washing out. I was like, right. I got the washing out, pegged it out. By this time, the power had gone off. So I spent the next hour and a half trying to get this power to stay on. I went round, I unplugged everything, and it would stay on for maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and then it would cut off again. And then it would stay on for a little bit longer. So it's like, right, well, it stayed on. I'm boiling the kettle. I need a coffee. But yeah, he just wasn't staying on. So I phoned the landlord up and told him what I'd done and everything. So I was like, right, well, we unplugged everything, literally everything in the house. Turned all the power sockets off. Tried it, tripped straight away. So phoned the landlord back, and he says, right, well, I'll get a sparky out. So last time we had problems with this, the grey water pump, which is outside, had been submerged because we had that much rain. In the end, the landlord had to raise the plug point up a good 2 foot just to make sure it doesn't happen again. So we thought it may have been that. Anyway, it turns out it wasn't. So underneath the bathroom, there is where the wires run for the plug sockets. Because, as I said, we're raised up because we're in North Queensland, so most of the electrics run underneath the house. So 9 out of 10, if you have a problem with the electrics, it's normally due to a rat or something like that chewing through the wire. But anyway, the sparky came out and he was looking, and it took him ages to find it. And he said, "What's happened?" He said, "When they've done the plumbing in the bathroom, so obviously they've changed it around. I think there used to be a bath in there. They've taken the bath out and put a shower in." He says, "When the plumber's done that, he's nicked the electric wire. So because of he thinks it's due to the rain. I never told him I flooded the bathroom, but he thinks it's due to the rain and the amount of rain that we got, because we did have a fair bit of rain the day before. He said, because of the moisture that it's got to the electrical wire, so it's shorting everything out. So he had to replace the wire, which the landlord was happy about, because if it was to replace the pump, that would have cost him a lot of money. So yeah, so he fixed the wire and replaced all that. So he was here for over an hour sorting that. Man, it took him about 40 minutes to find what the problem was. And if you didn't hear that, the cockatoos are back. So fun. I don't think they'd be back for another couple of months. But anyway, so he finally got that all fixed and put back on. So by this time it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. By the time we got power back on, and all I was thinking was like, hurry up! I need to get my tablet charged, and I've got a Zoom meeting tonight. I need to get onto my Zoom meeting. And I also need to have something to eat. But the first thing I did was put the kettle on again. You've got to have your coffee. And Shane was out at the time. He'd gone to the shops. And I phoned him up. I says, "How many plugs are under the house?" And I was like, "Well, it's just the one plug socket. Why?" I says, "Because the power keeps stripping off. I can't find out what it is." And he says, "No, there's only the one, which is easy to get to." And I said, "Well, it's not that one." And I was like, "Right." So I told him what had gone off, and he was like, "Okay." So here's me hanging around waiting, because I couldn't get any water to fill the kettle up because the pump wasn't working. So he walks in and he bought himself a coffee drink from the shop. And he says, "Yeah, I needed a coffee." I says, "So do I." I says, "But I can't have one, can I?" So I was waiting for the electrician. I got him to make sure that the water pump was plugged in, and then I quickly went and turned on the power, had the kettle under the cold water tap, and turned the tap on so that I could fill enough water up in the kettle so then I could put it on the barbecue. Well, not put the kettle on the barbecue, but put the water in a pan and put it on the barbecue so I could have a cup of coffee. And then just as the water boiled, the electrician turned up. It's like typical. Just done that one right. I'll just pull my needle off. So, but needless to say, I eventually got my cup of coffee. Now where am I stitching? Around here. Apologies if you can hear next door neighbour. He's mowing again. He mowed yesterday, but he's got to mow again today for some reason. So I've no idea what he's mowing today. So he mowed it all yesterday, but he's mowing again. which you would think he wouldn't do because he knows it's going to rain. We were forecast storms yesterday and we didn't get them, but we'll forecast rain. We got some rain, and then we forecast rain again today. And he always seems to start as soon as the clouds go really, really black, so you know it's going to rain. He starts cutting his grass. I've no idea why. Every time. Or he waits until the exact minute it stops raining, then gets out on the ride-on lawnmower, and it's like, it's just been raining, dude. It's not going to cut the grass very well, but he does it anyway. So I apologise if you can hear him. We're only 36 minutes. I thought it was longer than that. Might have time for another allowance then. It's been so horrible over here over the last couple of days because of all the rain. It's made it really humid at night. So it's not too bad in the house. So, because obviously when we're up we have all the windows and doors open, etc. So the bit of breeze that's been blowing has been blowing through, and it's been quite nice and cool. Shane's actually been moaning it's too cold. It's been like 18 degrees and he sat there with a dressing gown on. So he's moaning it's cold, but then he sat outside as well. And I've been just right. But at night time, as soon as you shut the windows and the doors, the house turns into an oven and it just heats up and heats up. And it'll say like it's going to be like 18 degrees at night time. It's like, well, normally that's alright to have just the fan on, the ceiling fan. But nah, I swear it's been higher than that. So I have to get up in the middle of the night and put the aircon on. It's getting ridiculous. I can't wait till winter gets here and it cools down a lot. Because I don't mind the heat, I just like to be able to sleep. It's that hot, I'm not being able to sleep properly. So, because of the humidity and that, and I've been waking up like every hour or something like that, see the time. It's like, really? I'm back to sleep. One of those, couple of those nights where you wake up like every hour on the hour. So yeah, so I can't wait for either the humidity to stop or for the temperature to start dropping rapidly. But I think the forecast for this week is nighttime temperatures to be around about 18 degrees all week. So that's going to be fun. That me not having much sleep, but never mind. I'll make up for it in winter. And you can definitely tell winter's on its way. It's staying darker longer now. So whereas before, in summer, by the time we got up at 4:30 for work, it was daylight. And now daylight's not until like 5:30, which is great because that means that the cats don't wake us up as early in the morning for feeding. Saying that though, this morning they were running around the house at 4 o'clock. No, 4:15. 4:15 they were running around the house. Normally when it's dark still, they generally stay asleep. Well, not today. Hoping I'm still in view here. Sorry for the movement. So Shane's redone the vegetable patch. So he's ripped everything out and he's replaced it with, what did he get? Corn. Why he bought corn, I have no idea because we don't really eat it. Don't think what he got. Corn. I think he got celery again. He only got 3 lots of vegetables. Could have been tomatoes as well. I can't remember. So yeah, so he's now redone that one. And then his sister was meant to come over today with some broccolini plants. So for those who don't know what broccolini is, just like small broccoli. Excuse me, I apologise, I will cut that bit out. So yeah, it's like small broccoli plants, but apparently they grow like wildfire. I'm pretty sure we've tried growing them before and didn't have any luck, but she was meant to be bringing that over when she was dropping the youngest niece off her friends, but she didn't because she slept in, so she had to rush. So Shane's gone over there to pick it up. So we're going to be eating broccolini for the rest of our lives, which I don't mind, I've got to eat healthier anyway, so. So who knows how long Shane's going to be over there, because when he says he's going over there for an hour, it generally turns into like 8 hours. So who knows when I'll be back. So because he's not even gone shopping, it means that you won't get him fighting up and interrupting. I'm going to go out yet and I'll get a birthday card and a present for his sister. She turns 40 on Tuesday. I haven't got a card or anything yet. I keep telling him to get one. I mean, he's been out of the house several times. Like, pick a card up for your sister. Yeah, okay. Nah, still haven't got it. So I'm going to end up having to pick one up. Probably tomorrow on the way home from work. And I think we're just going to give her some money. I think she wants to get a bracelet. A Pandora bracelet or something like that. So I think everyone's just giving her money so she can afford to get one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put some money in a card for her. Oh, speaking of money, so as you remember on my last video, I told you that our rent had gone up. I was like, well, that's going to be fun because I can only just afford to live as it is. And then on Wednesday, we got a nice email from work saying thank you for your hard work and contributions to the company, and I'll give you a pay rise. I was like, sweet. Well, normally when they give you a pay rise at work, it goes up like 10 cents an hour, 20 cents an hour, something like that. No, it went up nearly $2 an hour. I was like, get in. So Shane got more than me. I don't know why he got more than me. That's not fair. He only got an extra 20 cents more than me, but still, he got more than me. And so he was like, cool. So that means now that covers the extra for the rent and gives us a little bit extra. I was like, woohoo! So I'm happy. Although saying that though, we've got no money left whatsoever this week. No idea why. Probably because the cost of fuel's gone up. It's absolutely ridiculous at the moment, the price of that. So also as well, since last time I spoke to you, I have stopped smoking. So I couldn't get the tablets that was originally going to be on because they stopped making those because they didn't meet EU standards or something like that. So they tried me on a different tablet and they just didn't work. So I was like, well, I have stopped smoking before and I used patches. So I thought, right, I'll try some patches. So there's some clear ones that you can get. So I thought, right, well, I'll get them because I know they're smaller than the old ones I used to have. So I got these clear patches and they are absolutely useless. They don't stick to you. So I followed what it says, make sure that your skin was all dry and non-greasy and stuff like that, yeah. And I put one on and then by the time I got to work it was off. Or I would put it on my arm and then half an hour later it was somewhere completely different. I was like, how's it got there? So I decided, nah, I'll go back to the old style ones that I used to have. So these are like a skin colour, round ones. So I was like, right, we'll try these. I've had these before. So I started on those. So it's been, 4 weeks, because I've now gone down to the next strength for the next 3 weeks, and then I've got one more round of the lower strength for another 3 weeks. So that's going well. So, but I was like, as it is when you're starting to stop smoking, you're still craving the cigarette. So I was like, right, what can I do that's not that's going to stop me from craving the cigarette. Well, Shane vapes, as well as smokes. So it was like, well, I used to vape years ago when it first came out, but it used to get to my chest. I think that's probably because I was vaping too much. So I thought, right, if I get a vape, stick, pen, whatever you want to call them, and just have it really, really low, then that'll do. If I feel like I need a cigarette, I'll just have a couple of puffs on that and I'll be fine. So that's what I did. So when I went to the vape shop, I said, right, I want one that's not going to be really, really high voltage. I don't need a high voltage one. I said, I don't want these great big clouds of smoke like what Shane does. I said, I just want one that's going to be used like every now and then, just to take the edge of wanting a cigarette. So I got that all sorted out, got one picked out, so it's worked well. So I don't use it very often. Maybe maybe a couple of times a day. But I have the one with no nicotine. There's no nicotine in the liquid whatsoever. Because as I said, I don't need it. I've got the patch on. So that's working really, really well. So I just need to keep it up now. So we'll see how we go once I've got to the final stage, which is the really small patch. As I say, so far it's not bothering me not smoking. I'll say if I do feel like I need a cigarette or anything like that, I'll go and have a couple of puffs on the vape, and then it's all good. So that's a big achievement for me. So that's also going to save me some money. More stitches supplies. Maybe not. Now I need to start saving up for a flight now for going to the UK for Christmas. Just out of curiosity, I thought, I'll have a look, see how much a first class flight is to the UK. I know I would never be able to afford one, but I thought I'm going to have a look anyway. Yeah, I wish I'd never looked. I'm just putting the thing, first class flights to the UK from Australia, $15,000. It's like, yeah, no, forget that one. So I was like, definitely can't afford that amount. So you just say I won't be flying first class. I thought, I wonder how much it is for business class to the UK. This is for return flights. So for a return flight to the UK, business class, I was like, yeah, that one was like $5,500. I was like, yeah, I can't afford that one either. That's like I'm going economy. One day I will get to fly first class. One day. Mind you, now that I can fly again, I can start earning fly points or whatever you call air miles. That's it. So I started it when I came over here with Etihad, because that's the main one that flies from like the UK to here. And so I set it up with them. So I don't know how many points I've got on that, but it won't be many. But obviously I know the more you fly, the more points you get. So I will, because I'll be hopefully flying now every year, at Christmas time or whatever. I should start be able to earn some points, so then it means I will be able to fly first class at some point in my lifetime. I am determined I am going to be flying first class at some point. I just want to see what the hype is about. So first class is not cheap. I knew it was a lot more expensive than flying economy or cattle coop, whatever you want to call it, cattle club. So I knew it wasn't cheap, but I didn't think it would cost that much money. So it's like what, $7,500 each way. That's a lot. Mind you, that's now airlines are only just getting back up and running, aren't they? So by the time I need to book a flight, it should be a lot. Well, I'm hoping it might have gone down a bit. Or maybe one day there'll be a special on it. It's like fly first class for half price. I still won't be able to afford it, but you never know. And I've never been one of those lucky people either who have like flown economy and then been bumped up to business class or bumped up to first class because of overbooked or whatever. No, that's not me. I always end up in economy, sat right at the back of the plane, squashed up between two people who decide they're going to sleep all day so I can't move. Or I always get the smelly person, the one who's never heard of deodorant. I always get them next to me as well. And you're like, oh, come on, hurry up, get me off this flight. I always get that person, the smelly one. Or I get the kid sat behind me who has to bang the seat all the way through the flight. And then, because whenever I fly, well, not it's to Australia, but this time we're going the other way. But every time you're like, right, I haven't got to put up with you until I get to the next stop, because I always have a changeover. It's normally I have a 1 or 2, and it's like, yep, good. Once I've done that, these kids or whatever are out my way, and you can guarantee they're on my next flight as well. You're like, seriously? And again, they're sat right behind me. It's like, no way, come on. Every time. Now, I'm not one of these who can sleep on the plane either. I've done it once because I was so exhausted. But I can't sleep on the plane, so I sit up watching movies all the way through. So I'm awake for 24 hours. There's only once I've ever done it where I had a stopover at one of the airports and I had to wait 16 hours for my next flight. So it was a bit boring, but it didn't bother me that much. But when it come to having the meal, I fell asleep halfway through my meal and dropped it all over the floor. And that's the only time I've ever slept on a plane. But no, I can't sleep on a plane. 1, it's not comfortable enough. 2, I've always got some kid kicking the back of my seat. Or I always get the screaming baby near me. The screaming baby that cries for non-stop for like 8 hours or whatever. So yeah, so one day I would like to try a higher class than economy. Even just for the extra leg room. Because there's nothing worse than having being crammed in and then not being able to stretch your legs out. I was saying, I always end up for some reason sat in the middle. So you can't stretch your legs out by just getting up and walking up and down the aisle because the people beside me are normally asleep. Which row have I just done? That row. It's getting very black here, so I think we're going to start raining in a minute. So if you all of a sudden hear any claps of thunder or anything, I apologise. But yeah, it looks like it's absolutely going to sling it down from looking out the window. I don't know if I mentioned to you as well before, I'll start the next section of my college course. And it's all to do with fractions, percentages, and something else. And I was like, okay, you can understand percentages for when you need to work out stuff. But why would you need fractions? It's like 1/5 plus 3/8 equal whatever. And it's like, why do you need to know fractions of something for doing like wages or bookkeeping? Or it's like, there's no need for it. Everyone I spoke to said they've never used fractions, whatever. So anyway, I was struggling with it, and I was actually thinking of just throwing it all in because I just couldn't understand it at all. But I thought, no, I'm going to persevere. So I took a break from it for a couple of days. Here we go. It's starting to rain. Yeah, he's still cutting his grass. It's raining. He's slinging it down. But never mind. He obviously wants to get that last little bit done. So I was ready for throwing the towel in on it because I just couldn't grasp it whatsoever. So I thought, right, I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to find out how to do all this part. Because when I was at school, maths was one of my favourite subjects, but I was off the time that they went through doing fractions. This was when I started with my brain tumour, I believe, anyway, because this is when I started getting a lot of migraines. So I was off when they did fractions, and I've never been able to get into fractions, working out fractions. So I was like, right, I'm going to Google it. I'm going to watch some YouTube videos, and they made it really, really easy. And I was like, right, now I kind of understand that. So I went back onto my course, and it made it a lot easier. So needless to say, I did my first assessment, which is due in today. So I got that done last week and sent off. Now, with all my other subjects I've done there on this course, you send your assessment in, and normally within 2 days you've got your answer back saying whether you've done it all correct or if things need changing, whatever. This teacher who I've got, I sent it in last Saturday. I'm still waiting to say that she's marked it, and I've had a receipt. You get a receipt when you send your work in to say that they've received it. So I know she's got it, but she hasn't marked it yet. And it's like, come on, I could have used this weekend to do any alterations that needed doing, so I could get it sent back off again. But no, she's not marked it yet, so now I've got to wait. So she's obviously waiting until today's the last day of the subject to get the assessment in. So she's obviously waiting until everyone's done that. So she's obviously waiting for that to be done, and then she's going to go through and mark them all. And it's like, you could have done it before, because then obviously if there's any areas you can sit and work out where you've gone wrong and what you need to do, instead of having to try and cram in your revision for your next part leading up to your next exam, and then having to try and work out where you've gone wrong in your other one to get it fixed. So we'll see how we go. And then I have no idea what the next subject is. I'm looking forward to the learning how to do pay. I think I've got a couple of, I think maybe 2 or 3 more subjects to do before I get onto the pay one. But I'm looking forward to doing pay. That should be interesting. I don't know if you can hear the rain, but it's really coming down. Right, so I'll stop this here, because how the rain's coming down, sometimes the back room starts flooding. Well, the ceiling, the water starts coming in through the ceiling behind where I am. So I need to make sure, and it looks like it's starting to hail as well. So, right, I'm going to get going, because if it starts hailing, you're not going to hear me whatsoever, and it looks like it's going to. So, I'm going to get going then, guys. So, again, thank you very much for watching. Do appreciate it. Again, any questions or comments, please feel free to drop those down below, or again, send me an email. Everything, as normal, is linked in the description box below. So, my email address, my Instagram handle, if you do want to message me. And this will be up on Wednesday. Should be Wednesday anyway. So again, for all you mums out there, happy Mother's Day. Well, hope you had a happy, good Mother's Day, and you got lots of prezzies and got spoiled rotten. I'm assuming my mum probably will do. She normally does. And hopefully next time I speak to you, she'll have received the memorabilia, so I'll be able to tell you exactly how she responded to it. So until next time, guys. So we did 188 stitches today, by the way, in 59 minutes, so not too bad. So right then, so until next time, guys, take it easy, take care, stay safe, happy stitching. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye for now.